Welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show, a glitch art video podcast hosted by Omnia Sol, also known as TOSAS. Episode 7. Lucky number 7. Lucky number 7. 7. Rings.
Hello and welcome everyone out there in the land of YouTube. Welcome to TOSAS. Welcome to the Omnia Sol Art Show. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostess, Omnia Sol. Welcome to this episode. So today's episode is titled Rings, and the reasoning for this is because, last week we did RoboCop vs. the Terminator. Week before we did the holiday special. These themed episodes really tie everything together, and I thought, the last week's theme was so exciting for everyone. Why not do a theme for this week? So decided to go with a very loose-fitting theme of rings. So tonight we are glitching some footage from everyone's favorite movie about rings, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. We are also, sorry, I got to clear my throat. We are also glitching the some footage from the Sega Genesis game Sonic Spinball, because Sonic collects rings. And we are glitching some footage from the haunted VHS tape, The Ring, everybody's favorite horror movie. I first watched The Ring when I was on a substance, and it did not scare me. I thought it was aesthetically really cool. I had trouble following the storyline, but when I was glitching the footage for this episode, I gotta tell you folks, I was kind of scared. I see why people think the VHS is haunted, because it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, but hopefully this episode won't be too scary for you all out there on the internet land. One thing that is very scary that I hope this show can be a good escape from is everything going on in the news. I don't know about you all out there this week, but I definitely had some trouble getting to sleep this week because of everything going on with the Capitol building, and it's a fucking nightmare out there, and I don't even know what to think other than fucking disturbed by all of it. But I'm hoping that, people don't come here for my political commentary. At least I don't think they should, because I don't think I am the authority to speak on such things. But I do just got to say that I hope everyone is doing all right, is staying safe, and is doing what they can to make this world a better place. Hopefully similar to a Saturday morning cartoon, I hope that this show can work as an escape where you can take a break from your phone, take a break from Twitter, take a break from the constant news cycle, and just chill out, enjoy this time outside of time in a land, in the land of Middle Earth, in the land of wherever The Ring was filmed, and in the land of Sonic's pinball machine that he seems to be stuck in. I don't know. It's a lot. But I did, so I didn't sleep the much this week. But I am feeling way better since last week. I know I was sick, and so I want to give a special shout out to everyone who wished me well. Your good thoughts worked. I'm feeling much better, which is great. And, had this weekend, I was able to catch up on some sleep. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready to make this show happen. And, I know I said that, there's going to be a bonus episode, and there still will be. I think I just need to look at the news when it benefits me, and like for things I need to know, but I think I need to limit the amount of news I look at, because you open Twitter and you just end up in a K-hole of everyone's theories and suspicions and hot takes. And I don't think it's beneficial to the brain. It's definitely not beneficial to my own productivity, because I am not recording episodes or drawing or working on art when I am when I'm doom scrolling. So that's my advice for this week, is look at the news when you have to, but take some time out to take a break from doom scrolling, because if it's not actively benefiting you, then what's the point? What's the point? Go outside, take a walk, play some Sonic Spinball if you got a Sega Genesis, or I'm sure there's plenty of emulators out there to, take some time to chillax, take a nap, reboot your brain, because who knows what's going to happen between now and J20 of 2021. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens out there. Oh, and one final announcement before we really get the show on the road. If you are part of the poster party tier of the Patreon and you have not received your poster yet, good news for you. I've been getting those packaged up this weekend. They should be in the mail by the time this episode comes out on Monday. So Monday morning, I will send you the tracking number for your posters. Thank you so much for supporting the Omnia Sol art show on Patreon, and I really hope you enjoy the posters and enjoy the stickers, and thank you so much. I couldn't do it without you. This show would be nothing without the wonderful support of my Patreon patrons. You make this show possible. This is a communal effort through our hard work together as a team. So thank you. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a round of applause. I love you here at the Omnia Sol Art Show. I hope that you all are as excited as I am, because it is time for a segment of the show that one of my favorite segments of the show. It is time for the segment of the show where I talk about my beverage of choice for this recording. It is time for What am I drinking tonight? So tonight I am drinking a herbal tea. I am drinking a peach mint tea. I first came up with this idea during the first attempted impeachment of Donald Trump, because I was with family at the time and my niece kept referring to it as the peachment. Like, are you still watching the peachment? And I had the idea for a tea to take a peach tea and combine it with a peppermint tea and see what happens. I thought about drinking a caffeinated tea, but I feel like I've already hit my caffeine limit for the day. So we are going caffeine free today. And it's pretty good. It's pretty refreshing. Let me tell you about something that's not refreshing, something that's disgusting though. The other night when I was having trouble sleeping, I decided to give something a chance. As many of the listeners know, I enjoy drinking when I drink English breakfast tea or when I drink Earl Grey tea, sometimes I enjoy to put a little sugar and a little almond milk into the tea and mix that together. So I tried that when I was I'd not slept in a long time and I wanted something like that, but with no caffeine. So I decided to use peach tea and put a little sugar in it and put a little almond milk in it. And I thought it'd be kind of like a dreamsicle tea. Let me tell you folks, it was disgusting. It was terrible. If you need to sleep, drink some Sleepy Time or something, because putting milk and sugar in a peach tea was the worst tea experience I have ever had. Do not recommend it at all. But peach mint tea is good. So if you want to try something different, try some peach mint tea, and hopefully another impeachment will happen, since does not seem that the 25th Amendment is going to be invoked, even though it should, because who knows what the fuck will happen next. But that was What Am I Drinking Tonight? So without further ado, it is time to go ahead and play our first song of the night. For this episode, I had the idea, thanks to my friend Dio, to play all Ring-related songs. So I was thinking about the Crank That by Soulja Boy, Tell 'Em, being the first ever ringtone song. Or they also suggested the ringtone remix from 100 Gex featuring Charlie XCX, Rico Nasty, a bunch of other people. However, I don't really have the connections to make that happen, but I do have some mutual social media musicians who I think are amazing that I can promote their band camps on the show, including this next artist. So we're thinking about rings. What planet has rings? Of course, everyone's favorite planet, Saturn, has rings. So I reached out to my Twitter mutual, Temple of Saturn, who I am a big fan of the music that Temple of Saturn puts out. You can find their music at templeofsaturn.bandcamp.com, and that is of with an OV. So this song is from Temple of Saturn. It is from an upcoming album, The Rights of Janus, Janus. And the song is called Thresholder. So go check out Temple of Saturn's Bandcamp. Go check out The Rights of Janus. Go check out the song Thresholder. I think you'll really enjoy it. Of course, it goes with the rings theme because Saturn has rings. It's the only planet with rings in our solar system, as far as I know. I didn't do much research, but I remember the planet diagrams from school, and Saturn definitely has rings, so it fits with the theme. So enjoy this song, and we will be back with you after it plays. All right, we'll be back with you. Take care. thank you again to Temple of Saturn for providing that wonderful song. Once again, templeofsaturn.bandcamp.com. Go show some support to the musicians who make this show possible. And without further ado, we are going to go ahead to our next segment of the show, which is the part of the show where I read your fortune. I read your tarot card. You know what it is. It is time for
Card of the show.
All right, so here, without further ado, is shuffle number 1. All right, time for shuffle number 2. And last but not least, shuffle number 3. All right, let's see what our card of the show is tonight. So our card of the show tonight is the 5 of Wands, which often has to do with a conflict. It shows 5 people, each holding a wand, kind of sparring in battle. It almost looks a little bit like they're LARPing, not like full-on sparring. Not quite that dramatic, but it is sparring nonetheless. So let's go ahead and see what the book has to say about this card. 5 of Wands. Competition, the struggle for wealth, mental agility, change through courage. This card represents the struggle to gain material security, which is only achieved by dedication. Courage is needed, as well as the ability to think on your feet, develop new ways of thinking ahead to attain an advantage. Maintain your balance and equilibrium, and do not lose sight of your goal. So there you go. That was your
Card of the show.
So I personally know about the 5 of Wands. One struggle that I'm engaged in is the fact that I've been having trouble getting this microphone to the level that I want it. And then, so I turned it down a little because it was a little too loud, and had to go in and like manually fix it whenever it was peaking, and I didn't like doing that. Only to find out, so I'm recording this episode in parts, only to find out that the whole tarot section that I just recorded was recorded on it was like way quieter than it should have been. I didn't know what was going on. It was recorded on my computer microphone and not the USB microphone. So I re-listened. I still think it sounds good, but if it sounds slightly off, that's why. I got it fixed now. I got the USB microphone working. But, you know, that's my personal 5 of Wands struggle that I am dealing with to try to get this audio at a good level where it's not peaking, but you can still hear me and you don't have to turn me up too loud. You know, I guess that's just part of the Glitch Art Radio podcast format, is that since I'm making glitch art, there's going to be some mistakes, but not every mistake is a bad mistake. Sometimes it's just a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. You know, this show is almost kind of similar to Bob Ross in a lot of ways. As opposed to the joy of painting, it's the joy of glitch art. So, you know, maybe if you got a circuit bender at home, you can follow along and glitch what I'm glitching together. But yeah, maybe you've got a struggle going on in your life. Maybe you got a job that you're competing for, or something like that. I don't know how to apply this card to your life, but if it can apply to your life, then I hope you find it useful to as your card of the show. All right, I don't know how you are all feeling at home, but I am thinking that it is about time for the second song of the night. Tonight's second song is coming to us from David Brown and the Tomorrowmen. The song is called Winter /Spring /Winter. And the reason I think this goes along with the rings theme is you can't spell spring without rings. Well, yeah, because Because if you move, even if you move the S to the, yeah, you can't, well, you definitely can't spell spring without ring, but if you were to rearrange the letters, you wouldn't be able to spell spring without, you wouldn't be able to spell. Anyways, the word ring is in spring is what I'm getting at. So without further ado, you can check out David Brown and the Tomorrowmen. I believe the album is also called David Brown and the Tomorrowmen, but link will be in the show notes. But Das Bastard, or Das Bastard, however you want to pronounce it, dasbastard.bandcamp.com is where you can find David's music. Go support David. Go get this album. And we will be back with you after the song is done. And I look forward to talking to you again. Please enjoy this song. Hope you are having a wonderful time at TOSAS. All right, we'll be back with you.
I stood on the rocks and I signaled to the countries that I couldn't see, but I knew to us they were there. The sand, it was coarse, but it certainly fit just fine above the ground, beneath the air. The children, they ran their circles round our bodies. The sound of the water filtered through our eyes. Our shadows could not be traced because the sun took charge of everyone within its light. The winds have let up, but the stinging rain remains, and I can still hear all the tires tread the snow. The first of the year, November's heartbreak, Catholic light, a drunken mess. The night you died, I thought you should know. I see you in traffic and behind me at the store. I still wave at strangers as they ride by. I pick up my bags and I hurry through my door, and I let my neck go limp and I cry.
All right, folks. Once again, thank you to David Brown and the Tomorrowmen for that awesome song of winter, spring, winter. Yeah, I really like that whole album. I played the song Jupiter's Hawaiians a bunch on previous episodes as well as on the former live show. Just can't get enough of David Brown and the Tomorrowmen. So, I really hope that people at home like this show. Obviously, I like it. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like it. But I totally understand why podcasters don't listen to their own shows, because I usually when I rewatch this show, like I will watch it like for editing reasons to make sure if I need to cut anything out or change any audio or whatnot. But I usually don't watch the show as full. I kind of just edit as I go. But I try to watch the show. Usually when I watch the video, I will. The main reason I like to make this kind of show is to make a visual piece that I can put on in the background while I'm drawing or something, and then put music on the background. So say like Dark Side of the Moon, or literally any music will sync up to the video if you look at it in the right mindset. However, the other day I rewatched RoboCop versus the Terminator with my audio to see how it was, and I gotta say, maybe it's a self-esteem thing, but I like cringe at my own voice and some of the stupid things that I say when I say them in the moment. And I think it's usually kind of funny to say in the moment, because as you know, this episode is these episodes are basically stream of consciousness. And so going into it, I don't necessarily prepare for what I'm going to talk about. I do sometimes write out topics, or like last time I had the vague topic of RoboCop versus the Terminator. Who do I think is better? Who the audience think is better? Conceptually, what's better? But I didn't really write out notes because I don't really have I guess it's just not that kind of show. I want it to be more stream of consciousness. I want it to be more mundane than other podcasts that are more planned out. I don't want to be a Wikipedia podcast that I just read off Wikipedia articles. Like how many true crime podcasts are there where they just like list off, the reports of these murders or whatever. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that type of show. But at the same time, re-listening to myself, it's like, damn, sometimes I'm cringy. I got to figure out a way to embrace the cringe, and maybe utilize, because the one way that cringe is utilized, I think, in any form of media is camp. Like you look at the Evil Dead series, or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, that's its own form of camp. And then of course you look at like John Waters and all of those great directors, that the kings of camp, the kings and queens of camp, drag artists, etc., who can fully embrace camp. I haven't figured out how to do that. I hope I will figure out how to do that. I know in the past I've described myself and this show as the Harvey Picar of glitch art podcasts, and I said that kind of tongue in cheek, but I hope that I can live up to Harvey Picar's legacy of making amazing art of the mundane. All right, folks, you wouldn't have seen it coming, but it is already time for the section of the show where I read to you from a book. You know what it is. It is time for... It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words. So for tonight, for words, we are going to be reading another Orphic hymn. I think next week I will switch it up and read from a different book, but I thought with the episode being Rings and with us playing a song by Temple of Saturn on the show, I thought it was too perfect. So go ahead and read the Orphic hymn to Saturn, but I'm reading from the Patrick Dunn. And I prefer the Greek over the Roman translations because they're originally in Greek. So it's not to Saturn per se, it's to Kronos, but Kronos is, associated with Saturn, the Greek equivalent of Saturn. So without further ado, here is your words of the week. 13, for Kronos. Incense Storax, ever young father of the blessed gods, and men, clever, pure, almighty Titan. You exhaust all things, then restore them. Adamant are the chains you wind about the boundless universe. Kronos, father of Aeon, Kronos, sung in many myths, you are the child of Gaia and the star-filled Uranus, birth, growth, and withering, Rhea's husband, O honored Prometheus, who lives in every part of the cosmos, wily, brave creator, hear the requests in my voice. Send always a prosperous and blameless conclusion to my life. Note, Prometheus is the titan who benefited humanity by bringing us fire. Here, Kronos is associated with that titan. There is a hint of conflation with Kronos as well, the god of time. This was a common association due to the similarity of names. So yeah, I hope that you can take something away from that reading and apply it to your life. And if you can't, I hope that that you at least enjoyed my buttery auto-tuned voice for that section. You know what it is. It's time for words. It's time for words. It's time for words. So our next song of the night is coming to us from an artist we have featured on the show before. It is coming to us from an artist named Bedbug from Rebor Records. I know anyone who's listened to the past episode should be familiar with Rebor Records. This song is actually titled Ring Dance by Bedbug. And when I was looking for songs and I saw that Bedbug had a song named Ring Dance, I was like, hey, that is perfect for the Rings themed episode. Can't go wrong with a song that's got ring in the name. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and play Ring Dance by Bedbug, which the link to the album will be in the show notes. But you can also go to rebor.bandcamp.com and you should be able to find Bedbug's album there. So check it out, and we will be back with you after the song. All right, and we are back. A big thank you to Bedbug as well as Rebor Records for that awesome song. And as you know, you can go to rebor.bandcamp.com. The album is Bedbug, so go find it. Go support the artists who make this show possible. I think we had a great show tonight. I hope that you feel the same way. I don't know what next week's show is going to look like. Maybe keep up these kind of vague themes to thematically tie everything together. If you enjoyed this show, please do me a favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you really, really like the show, consider becoming a Patreon patron. I got some cool rewards for Patreon patrons, such as posters, stickers, etc. You also get early access to my comic strip ZZZ, which should be coming back this week. I've got some drawing to do, but I should be rolling pretty soon. Yeah, I don't know what else I have to say. I wish I was better at riffing for a couple minutes to make this show the same length as all the other shows. You know, maybe in the future when we're not living through a pandemic, I can take some improv classes that'll help me just riff. And I know I've talked about having guests on the show. At some point, I'd still like to do that. One episode that I'd like to do is at some point I'd like to do an Animal Crossing episode and have my good friend Wes on the show, because Wes is the ultimate Animal Crossing expert. They know even more than I do about Animal Crossing. So if there is anything you want to see on the show, anything you want to see differently, any glitch requests, let me know. You can comment on the YouTube, or if you want to hear your voice heard on the show, you can call. We've set up a Google Voice number. The number is 262-612-3069. So all you got to do is call in and wait for the voicemail, and then just leave a message. And if I like the message, I will auto-tune it and play it on the show. Even if I don't like the message, I'll still address it on the show. So if you just want to call and complain, you don't like I'm doing something, I'll address it. But at the end of the day, it is my show. I'm going to do it how I want to. But there is that option. There is, democracy is not dead at the Omnia Sol Art Show. So if you want to call, you want to let your voice be heard, you can do that. So call the number. That number is always in the show notes. But once again, it's 262-612-3069. Call in. Let your voice be heard. But anyways, this episode has been Rings. I hope that you enjoy it. Hope that your week goes great and that this was a good escape from the horrors of reality. Take a break with me at the Omnia Sol Art Show, also known as TOSAS. And we will be back with you next week. So tune in, turn on, and drop out with the Omnia Sol Art Show. All right, take care of yourself. I will see you all later.